dive into Miami-Dade's most innovative and exciting magnet programs that truly make Miami-Dade County Public Schools your best choice in education. I'm Jacqueline Basayo, Executive Director with the Office of Innovation and School Choice, filling in for your host, Dr. Magda Castro-Bereda. And in today's episode, we're taking a deep dive into the STArts and STArts² magnet programs, truly innovative magnet programs that are blending the sciences and the arts to transform student learning. Joining me today are Mr. Chad Norton, Assistant Principal at Francis S. Tucker K-8 Center, home to the original STArts program with a focus on dance and kinetic movement, and Mr. Patrick Lacouty, proud alumnus and principal of Thomas Jefferson Biscayne Gardens K-8 Academy, where the STArts² program is flourishing with digital music production. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Magnet Pool. We just kicked off our second season, so I'm excited to have you both here and share all the great things happening at your schools and through these magnet programs. So we're just going to jump right in. We know that every program has a beginning, and the story of STArts, the STArts brand, starts at Francis S. Tucker and Hubert O. Sibley, right, your sister school. Mm-hmm. And really that came about, just for our viewers and listeners, through the support of the Magnet Schools Assistant Program grant. Yes. And really became the foundation for this new wave of thematic education in Miami-Dade County, right? So STArts is being offered at your school, Francis S. Tucker and Hubert O. Sibley, and we actually had the principal from Hubert O. Sibley on the show last season, so she was able to kind of, tell us a little bit about what that looked like. And then from there, with an additional grant support from Magnet Schools Assistance Program, we launched STArts². And that takes place at Thomas Jefferson, Biscayne Gardens K-8 Academy, Citrus Grove K-8 Center, and Bowman Ash Doolin K-8. So just to give a little bit of background to our viewers and listeners, but really to dive in kind of how it started and where we've come from when we started. So Mr. Norton, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you. Can you share a little bit about how, STArts started at Francis S. Tucker and what makes it so unique to your school community?
Well, as you spoke from the beginning, we received a $7 million grant from MSAP, which was able to help fund our school and help to increase our facilities and be able to give our students an opportunity to grow and to delve into technology, kinetic energy, and different dance and different things around the environment. And why is it important to our community is because, like some people may say, Francis Tucker is the soul of Coconut Grove.
That's right.
And a lot of students and a lot of individuals have come through there, and they have come through that particular school. So it's good that we're able to offer that and provide our students with that type of atmosphere and environment so they can continue to excel and grow.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think when I think of Coconut Grove, like a community that's booming, right? Yes. So much development. Yes. Your schools are busting at the seams. Yes. So it only makes sense, you have notable schools, in your area to continue to innovate what we're bringing to our community and to the students. And I think STArts is a perfect example of that.
Awesome. Yes, it's a great opportunity for our students to be able to receive that type of items that have been given to us from the MSAP grant.
And so then from the initial STArts grant, then we went ahead and launched STArts². So what does that look like, or how has that been adapted, right, to your students, your community, your school?
We're blessed to be able to be part of this wonderful grant. With the STArts², it has built upon, it's woven into all the fabric of our school, from the instructional framework to the learning outcomes. And it showcases the thematic courses that we have, such as coding fundamentals, or perhaps space exploration or astronomy. So our students are excited, and I am excited. I can't wait to see when it's fully implemented. So we're blessed. That's in one word.
And I think, we know the power of an arts education. And so when you're talking about a program like STArts or STArts², where we're blending, right, science, technology, and now this whole arts component, right, how transformational that could be for students. And while you guys both share that name of STArts, we know that arts component that I'm mentioning differs, right? It changes depending on the school that you're with. So, Mr. Norton, in your school, that arts component is that dance and kinetic movement. So what is that? What does that look like? How does it help students connect that dance piece or that kinetic movement to what they're learning, whether it be in sciences and technology or just throughout the day?
Well, I think one of the main components is just giving our students the atmosphere or the ability to create. Um, Being science, you have to be able to think through different problems and be able to understand, to be able to look and view um, different aspects of the world. So by them being able to create and use the different kinetics in the dance atmosphere, it also transfers over into the science realm because you get to learn about human anatomy. You get to learn about your body. You get to learn about the way things work, so that you'll be able to, further understand, and it helps you as you continue to grow and move on into the future to whatever your future destination may be.
And when we talk about just magnet programming in general, right, and these thematic programs, and we talk about how they are so different than a traditional school because we do integrate that throughout the school day. And I think, that's such a great example. It's not just that they're taking a dance class at Francis Tucker, they're learning about movement, they're learning about anatomy, they're tying it to the sciences. So just a great example of that thematic education that we talk so much about Magnet and just bringing it together, at your schools. And your sister school, Hubert O. Sibley, that also offers STArts, their arts component is visual graphic arts. But, there as well, we're integrating that throughout the school day. But your arts component looks a little different. So tell me a little bit about digital music production and what that looks like at Thomas Jefferson Biscayne Gardens.
Well, there's a buzz, there's an excitement. Our students they can't wait to express themselves. Very creative. So in our digital music production program, our students learn essential skills such as composing, arranging, mixing, putting all of that together in digital audio workstations, and being able to produce content that they are proud of. They make connections between mathematics and music. They get to express themselves in ways that are unimaginable. And we're blessed to be able to have three wonderful teachers who are experts at their craft. One is a professional singer. One is great at, in terms of strings, and another one is great in terms of technology. So if you come to our school, you get to experience this wonderful environment. And I can tell you, as a former engineering major and math major, to be able to see the connection between STEM, music, and technology, it's amazing. Our students get an opportunity to be able to express themselves in ways that are unimaginable. So I'm hoping that it's going to grow and build and develop, and that the community will be excited as we are, and that others will hear about it.
Right. I mean, music is such a part of our daily life, right? And it's so great to be able to go to school to create art and to find their voices, all the while, learning with this program that really, I do feel, speaks to how children learn, right? And I want to touch a little bit upon that science component. And we talk about STArts, we say there's a science, technology, and the arts, but what does that science technology piece look like that's different from a traditional school, right? I know you guys incorporate, it's not just whatever is required. You're looking at space science, you're looking at, ocean science. And so, what does that look like at your schools?
For us, it's one word: experiential learning, hands-on. It's not just about the theory; it's putting the practice into the physical world, being able to touch it, create. There's a buzz when the students create, let's say a race car, and being able to see it work and getting excited. I had a group of girls who ran to my office to show me, this wonderful race car and how they were able to put it together and get it to work. And I'm thinking, as a former engineer, we don't have enough female engineers. We need more. And so programs like our program at our school is going to develop, students like my female students, my minority students, to get excited. We shouldn't, we need to be the engineers, not let China take over all the engineers. We create our own, build with our female population along with the minority population. So that way they can be the next great engineer at University of Florida or wherever they went to go.
Right, yeah. And I like that it's so global in nature, where it's not like, okay, I'm coming because I just want to do the music. Like, they're getting this experiential learning, right, hands-on in science and technology, and whether it be kinetic and dance or music. And the best part is that it starts in kindergarten, right? You both have K-8 centers. So what that means for families is that as early as kindergarten, students have access to these programs. And in your traditional schools, you are going to have access to science, language arts, maybe some music, but the level of instruction and the level of exposure that is being offered at your schools, I think is very unique because, especially because they are beginning so early on, you know. When I think about just all of this, right? And this whole creativity piece. And I was at your school the other day and the kids are in the sound booths making music, and it's so incredible to see. And I'm wondering, like, did these kids even know that they had a talent, right? Like, we're helping them discover this, or we're helping them discover, you know, their passion for science. We know that programs like this, where kids are excited about coming to school because they like what they're learning, really help kids succeed, right? There's data that says that. If I want to come to school because I'm enjoying what I'm learning, I'm going to feel more confident. I'm going to pay more attention. I'm just going to do better. And Thomas Jefferson just received their first A rating.
Yes,
So
you did.
very, very exciting. And I think that's a testament to the power of the program, right? And the magnet theme. And again, that idea that students want to come to school, they want to learn, and the way and the approach that you guys are using to teach is speaking to these kids, and we're seeing it in your test scores.
And you know what? First, with our science scores have increased dramatically from 5th grade on to 8th grade. And we have, also in terms of biology, 95% of our biology students pass the end of course exam. And so that is phenomenal. But also, it's, you know, I would love to be able to say that my students are coming to school for mathematics as a former math teacher, but no, they don't. They actually come to school for music, digital music production. They come to school for coding. They come to school for the explorations. They come to school for the hands-on learning. And that translates in literacy, it translates in math, it translates in science. And so I think that serves as a model for others to follow. And so I'm glad to be part of it, that my students are as excited. I just, and I pray that they continue that passion to high school.
Yeah. And you're talking about biology, like these are high school level courses that your students are taking in your K-8. So I guess in that middle school level,
Correct.
right? They're already being exposed to these advanced academics, they're succeeding. And they're having fun while they're doing it, right? They're not just coming to school in these rigorous environments. Or, you know, it's a different way of learning, a different approach to teaching. And then at Francis Tucker, like, I guess, how have you seen the program really help kids succeed academically while also developing that artistic side?
Well, as you spoke, it helps our students to develop in the science realm. We have environmental science, marine science, and it helps our students to be able to get into those schools that they may want to get in, such as Master Academy, by having the prerequisites and taking some of those classes. The students are excited. They love to go to the different labs that we have. We have beautiful facilities for our students to be able to just be able to experiment and to learn all the different concepts that they need to know. So all of our students are doing well. Our science scores have improved drastically. You know, last year was our first year being a full-fledged K-8. And this year we're working to make sure that we continue to be consistent as far as the data as far as our students go. So,
and I think it's important, you know, what you mentioned with, like, when families are looking for a school and they're choosing for the elementary or the middle school, or in this instance, this K-8 environment, when families are already thinking about high school, like how important it is to select these schools, right, in the primary and intermediate grades that are really going to set them up to have that eligibility criteria when they're trying to pursue these high school magnet programs or these specialized programs after they leave you guys. And you mentioned labs, so I want to kind of touch upon just the community partnerships that we have, you know, with this program that really allow us to take learning outside of the classroom, right? Our kids have access to different facilities throughout Miami, so if you could share with us, what is it that they're doing, where are they going, what does that look like?
So we have a couple of site-based learning opportunities. The students, they have field trips to go to Fairchild. We have Growing Beyond Earth that, you know, they come out and help some of our students to learn about growing different items that may be able to grow on Mars, some different things like that. So we have a lot of opportunities where our students, we have Waves, and is another one of our partners. So we have a lot of partnerships and different individuals that our students are able to enjoy themselves and able to go out and grow as humans.
For sure. I mean, I think there is value in not just learning, even though we're making learning really fun in the school and in the classrooms, but really being able to go and see it in the field and really, being able to understand, wow, this is what I could be doing, or this is why I'm learning what I'm learning, right? Like, how many times didn't you learn things in school and we're like, when am I ever going to use that? But here we're teaching it, and then they're going out into the field and they're using it, whether or not they want to continue to, learn or like develop food that astronauts can eat. It definitely gives it context, and I think it helps them in when they're learning that knowledge, and then we see it in the test scores, and it's this trickle down effect. One of the most exciting parts about the STArts² program specifically is that all access nature. So I want you to talk to us a little bit about what that means, what that looks like. We know that our magnet programs have different eligibility criteria. So STArts is a strictly an interest-based program. So anybody that's interested in science, technology, or the arts are eligible to apply. But specifically with the STArts² program, that second iteration of that program, we did things a little differently. So if you can tell us a little bit about that all-access nature and what that means for every student that wishes to access a magnet program such as this.
First of all, let me give you a picture of my school. Roughly about 23% of my students are English language learners, and about 28% are ESC students, and the rest are general ed population students. So to be able to have an all access, which means all students, not some, not the top 20%, but all students, ESC, English language learners, as well as my advanced students and my general ed students, to be part of the program. Truly, to describe it in one sentence would be no child left behind. And that's truly because all students are included. So we, through these wonderful thematic courses, to build in terms of these experiences, these hands-on projects, to be able to go to Music First as one of our partners, to be able to experience that platform where teachers and students get to learn. Or perhaps, it could be in terms of discovery education, where they're coming in and providing professional development to my teachers to help, develop, grow, so that to help all of my students, not just some. And so it's a great opportunity. So if you have a child who's gifted and you have a child who's autistic, same school. They get blessed by the same school. So it's not just some, but it's for all. So I think it's one of the few, and I think that it needs to be replicated across the county and across the state.
Absolutely. And I think not so much when we're talking eligibility, because, we're not looking at English language learner status when we're determining eligibility for our programs, or even whether or not students have exceptionalities. But the fact that the program as a whole is really making the curriculum accessible no matter what need you might have or what area you need support in. I think that's very powerful, especially in this STArts² model, where we're making sure that that curriculum is accessible to students of all abilities, right? And there's so much power in that. And again, your scores speak to what happens when we're including everyone and we're making sure that everybody has access to that knowledge. And now we're preparing them, right, for beyond wherever that takes them, whether that be an art school, whether that be a science school, or whether that be their traditional high school. I think it's really setting up the way that they're learning and how they feel about school. And I think it's amazing, amazing, amazing work. So we always close our show asking one final question, because we know that there's always something about your school or about your programs that draw students in. So I'm going to ask each of you, what is the magnet pull for your school, for your program? I don't know who wants to take that first.
Take that.
You go ahead.
Okay, the magnet pull. Well, you want me to boil it down to just one?
Well, you can tell us. We have time. We have time.
First, obviously, the digital music production, STEM, all in one. That is a pull. I'm able to recruit students, otherwise I would go to other places. And so that is a blessing. Second, I have amazing teachers who go above and beyond, teachers who've developed my students in the middle school for these end of course exams. Third, all inclusive. You know, come and we will develop you. And so we are a diverse group of people, students, staff, and so it is a wonderful opportunity to be able to learn and develop and grow. And truly, we want the best for our students. So it's not one, come for the STEM, come for the wonderful teaching, stay because of the bond that you develop between teachers and students, and the fact that you know that you're going to grow and develop and become a better version of you. And so we invite you, to come to Thomas Jefferson Biscayne Garden Skate Academy.
Whether a student or a teacher looking for
Or
somewhere
staff.
to work,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How about you, Mr. Norton?
If you want to come somewhere where you know you're going to grow, somewhere where you know you're going to be loved, somewhere you know where it's a community full of people that are going to make sure that they care for you and make sure that your child gets the appropriate education that they deserve, and they'll be prepared to become experts in their field, then Francis Tuck is the place. We have wonderful staff. We have great principal, Mrs. Garrido, and we have great students. It's a great facility. Like we said, we have a great staff, and it's no place better than Francis S.
I
Tucker,
agree.
the soul of Coconut Grove.
And I think with our support that we've received from, MSAP, I think it opens itself to all these resources and all these partnerships that you guys have, been able to execute on that really are what basically drive the success of this program. And like I keep mentioning, we see it in the test scores, we see it in how happy the kids are coming to school, how much they enjoy it. So kudos to you both, and thank you both for joining me today. Two programs that truly deserve the spotlight. So I'm happy that we were able to have this short conversation, but to really kind of clarify out there, what is STArts, what is STArts², and what could they find in your schools. So thank you both again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Of course. A big thank you to our listeners and viewers, as well as Miami's Community News for their partnership in bringing the stories of our schools to the community through this platform. The Magnet application window opens annually on October 1st. With just one application, families can apply to up to 5 schools, including our STArts and STArts² programs. So we invite you to continue exploring what magnet options you have available by visiting our website at miamimagnets.org. We also encourage you to follow us on social media at Miami Magnets to stay up to date with all of the upcoming information sessions, webinars, Parent Choice and Showcase Expo that we will be hosting to really explore all the options available to you across Miami-Dade County Public Schools. That's it for this episode of The Magnet Pull. Keep being drawn to what inspires you, and we'll see you next time.